This is Maria says, "Hi Abe, thank you so much for doing this. I have graduated in illustration and concept art, but switched to learning 3D about a year ago. I really found my passion in doing this. My goal is to work in a smaller game studio as a 3D generalist, and I love both realistic 3D art as well as a stylized looks. Would love to know my portfolio looks to a professional 3D artist like you. Thanks again, and have a great day." Says, sadly, you won't be able to see the stream live, but so excited about seeing it later. Yeah, we upload everything on the second channel. We have a second channel where we upload our clips. So if you don't find this here on the main channel, you can always look for it on the second channel on the next couple of days. Okay, so first impression, this looks quite nice. Again, I'm seeing some concept art. So for instance, this seems to be concept art. Interesting. Good line art. I suck at line art. I'm a little bit better at painting, but line art it's always a struggle. Again, you don't need to have 2D art if you want to just do 3D. What's this? Oh, this is so cool. Like, it would be so cool to make this for like the hand-painted approach. Painting stone is just so fun. I thought it was 3D, to be honest, at first. I thought it was like stylized. But you should do this one. Like, either of this or either of these ones. Try doing it in 3D, Maria. That would be pretty cool. Now let's take a look at some of the 3D. Dorsed shield for Baldur's Gate 3 mod project Strath. Okay. Oh yeah, Durst. That's from Curse of Strath. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Not bad. Yeah, I mean, it looks good and it's in-game, so that's great. I don't agree. This is personal, like, again, opinion. I don't agree with some decision choices. Maybe it seems a little bit too noisy on the outer edge, but the execution here is pretty nice. Wireframe seems to be a little bit messy in certain areas. It could further be cleaned if we needed to, but it's fine. It's working. The bakes are also working. I would love to see a UV map on this one, Maria, just to make sure that everything, like, I can see from the UV or from the normal map that it is working properly, but I would still love to see a UV map of this shield just to see how it looks. Now, this is a little bit of like a very, very small critique. Like, it's not something that's gonna make or break this thing, but this kind of cuts that you see right here on the shield, these are impossible. Well, maybe I shouldn't say impossible, but this would be very, very difficult to do unless you had like a laser cutter, right? So if this was done in the medieval times or in fantasy times, I would expect to see more cuts. I would expect to see more like a bands, like multiple bands, sort of like welded together. If there's anyone here who has done welding, you might be able to correct me if I'm wrong. But it's just like these curves, they look very, I don't know, artificial compared to everything else that looks very organic, right? Also, careful with this like seam right there, the seam where the wood and the gold starts. We need to do something there. You could even just use like a height layer instead of substance and push that in to really create like a little line that indicates that it's a different type of material, because right now it looks very, very I don't know, very, very thin. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I get that those are just very specific things, but people might notice those elements. Nice. This is it looks like something from the words from, oh my god, just forgot, Studio Ghibli or something like that. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice one. I mean, it's simple. I love the chickens. They're very fun. You did a good job on the feathers, though. Doing that sort of like feather texture effect and just baking it down, it's tricky. Not super easy. For this ones, and this is an important thing that you can do, well, everyone can do. Remember, all of these tips are for everyone. So when doing hair, one of the things that you can do in terms of like polygons is you can push the silhouette a little bit. So if you just grab a couple of these squares and just extrude them a little bit into a pointed bit, that's gonna definitely help to sell the effect or sell the idea that these guys are you know, feathery and fluffy. You see this all the time, especially with hair. Like, people will push some of these elements out into the hair. And just adding this extra little borders here or extra little silhouette could be really, really important. Same for the wings right here. So if we just add a couple of like vertices and a couple of squares, so like pushing out, that can really make the whole thing look a little bit more fluffy. See that? Like, even just from afar, like you see this from afar, and even just adding that little detail right there, it definitely makes it look more spongy, more more fluffy. So hopefully you guys can appreciate that. And it's very easy. Like, you already have the topology here. Like, the topology that you have is really good. So just literally take one of these squares, extrude it out, and make it into a little point. Yes, it's going to increase the poly count a little bit. Yes, it's going to modify the textures a little bit. Yes, the bakes are going to look a little bit different. But if you do that, it can definitely help with this overall feel for the character. Take a look at this. Okay, simple sword. Swords are tricky to present because they're very long, and you can't really see everything. Again, in general, this looks fine. It does look like a very or relatively simple asset. Topology-wise, again, we can simplify things a little bit right there on the curvatures, especially on the inside. But it's not bad. And again, the fact that this is in-game. This, guys, by the way, a lot of people underestimate how important doing like a mods can be, because when you do a mod and you show that your asset can actually live on a game and it's being used in a game, is really, really good. Like, that means that you understand the pipeline, and it could be a good way. I know that a lot of the mod teams out there are not paying anyone to do this. It's just for the love of the game or for the love of the community. But if you can get, a couple of experiences here and there doing mod work, that's a great way to showcase that you know how to do this. Nice. This little monkey shrine here. Yeah, not bad. Couple of assets there. Yeah, this is good stuff, Maria. I really like your level. It's looking quite nice. Your topology is really, really clean. I applaud that. That really looks great as well. The only thing that I need to see... Wolf Girl, thank you for the bits. The only thing that I could say is to make sure to include some UV maps if possible, to see how clean they are. This one also looks quite nice. But yeah, good stuff, Maria. Keep up the good work. This is looking quite nice.